3 videos when there's only 3 days between game weeks. Don't say I don't do anything for you guys. What's up guys, and welcome to FPL Today, your place for Fantasy Premier League content. Hope you're having a great Thursday, and welcome to the FPL preview where I talk over topics related to Game Week 6, the news and team selection headaches around our FPL decisions. So if this is a series you're excited for and want to see on the channel more, you know what to do. Hit that like button, lets me know you're enjoying the content. Hit that subscribe and that notification bell if you haven't already. All of it helps the channel out massively, and let's get straight into the video. So we start off with the news that Van Dijk's injury could be for potentially the rest of the season. There is no timescale for Van Dijk's return, and it does seem to be a very serious issue, which means he'll miss out the majority of the season, which is probably great news for Manchester City, who are now rubbing their hand, and anyone else in the Premier League that has title aspirations, because their defence will definitely be weakened by the absence of Van Dijk this season. Now, also with Alisson injured as well for the short term, although he has apparently been pictured in training, and clean sheets being a rarity this season, there's some concern over the Liverpool defensive assets. We know they're still going to score goals, so the likes of Salah and Mane aren't really concerns, but Robertson and Trent are premium price defenders. Some would even consider them as extra midfielders, the way they're so attacking. But a part of their appeal was the fact that they could get clean sheets as well as an assist or a goal to get them those double-digit hauls. So are Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold still worth their premium prices is the question we've all got to ask ourselves, or could we go down to the plethora of 5.5 million options that are now there in the Premier League for us to take advantage of? So looking at how the Liverpool defence is probably going to line up now that Van Dijk is out, we're going to have Trent and Robbo still as the fullbacks in this Liverpool side, still probably going to get rather far forward, although they might be asked to do a few more defensive duties, especially against tougher opposition. I believe, at least for now, because Matip also has an injury and is a concern for Game Week 6, that we're going to be looking at the likes of Gomez and Fabinho as the two centre-backs in this Liverpool lineup. And defensively, they don't have the greatest stats. There are some that aren't too bad. We look at shots conceded, that's 44 shots conceded in total, that's the 5th best in the division. Inside the box, 29, that's the 6th best in the division. But then you look at shots on target, and 25 of the shots they've conceded have been on target, putting them 16th in the league. And big chances they've conceded 13, which is 17th best in the league. Really low numbers for Liverpool here, which could of course be affected by the Aston Villa game where they were pretty terrible. So we do have to remember there is an outlier game in there. We also have goals conceded 13, which is the worst in the league, joint worst in the league. And expected goals conceded at 8.4 is 15th in the league, only getting 1 clean sheet so far out of 5 game weeks. And expected clean sheets is at only 1.16, which is 13th best in the league. So those aren't really the kind of numbers we expect to see, or the positions out of all the teams in the league we expect to see defensively for Liverpool. So there is some concern there. Alisson coming back will of course strengthen them. And the plus point is they do have the perfect fixture for you to evaluate their defence, with Sheffield United coming up next, who are one of the worst teams attacking-wise in the Premier League right now. So I'd say for now, hold on to any Liverpool asset, at least for 1 game week. See how they do against Sheffield, but if they concede plenty against Sheffield, then it really is worry stations for the Liverpool defenders. On the plus side, though, we are still looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has 9 shots on goal in total, with 9 key passes and 2 big chances created, and also Robertson, who's had 4 shots on goal, 2 on target, 4 from inside the box, 2 big chances, 8 key passes, 3 big chances created. So there's definitely some very good underlying stats here for the Liverpool defenders, so there's still the potential for points there. We then look at Tottenham Hotspurs and their attack, because right now their ownership is going through the roof, especially for Kane and Son. And they have the likes of Bale joining their team and a really good left back in Reguilon joining the squad. And they are the talk of the town at the moment, with 3 good fixtures left before their run does get a bit more difficult. Now that does coincide with Manchester City's run getting easier when Spurs' gets harder. So would I suggest to have a Spurs asset right now? I'd definitely suggest to have one. You could double up for the next 3 game weeks as well if that's a move you can make, as long as there isn't something more urgent you need to do with your side. But Kane and Son have looked really impressive, and with their ownership being so high, I would not be turning a blind eye on doubling up on them, because if they do continue to haul, and of course there is the argument that they will regress to the mean, but if they do haul, you're looking at big changes to your game week rank and overall rank, because so many people now have Kane and Son doubled up, or at least one of them. Right now, as far as attacking teams, they're one of the top teams in the league. 3rd for shots on goal with 74, 1st for shots on target with 37, 51 shots inside the box, which puts them 3rd, and big chances 20, which puts them 1st in the league for big chances. They scored 15, which is the highest in the league, and their XG puts them 2nd with 13.02, and 240 points puts them 4th for the amount of FPL points they have managed to accumulate. So I definitely wouldn't ignore Kane and Son. If you want a cheeky punt, Bale is of course now an option, and Virgil is looking very good as a left back, although Spurs did manage to concede 3 goals against West Ham in the last 10 minutes, which is a bit of a worry, but overall they dominated that game for the majority of it, and clean sheets could definitely be around the corner for Mourinho's men. If I had to punt on one of them though, I would go for Harry Kane, just because he's matching Mohamed Salah for shots on goal, has more shots on target than Mohamed Salah, and has more big chances than Mohamed Salah, with only scoring 1 less despite his expected goals being higher. He's also got 13 key passes and 7 big chances created, and right now he just looks like an amazing option to own. Son is also a great option as well, but I just feel like Harry Kane's numbers suggest even if there is regression, he will still be a very good asset this season, and he has risen to 10.8 now, so I don't think it'll be long before he hits that 11 million mark. So we spoke about Liverpool's defence and the possibility there are 5 to 5.5 million defenders we could be looking at instead. We also spoke about Spurs, who have a 5.5 million defender in Virgil that could be someone you consider. And alongside him, as far as considerations for me in that price bracket, which would save me a cool 1.5 to 2 million, is Ben Chilwell at Chelsea and Cresswell at West Ham. Now, West Ham have been a lot better defensively than we imagined they would be. If you ignore the first 20 minutes against Spurs, they were actually pretty good defensively in that game. Cresswell has had only 1 shot on goal, but he has created 2 big chances with 12 key passes in total, and West Ham's fixtures do turn in their favour shortly. If they can continue that good defensive performance against lower sides in the league, we could be looking at quite a few clean sheet points being racked up there, and with him on set pieces and corners, we could see even more points from Cresswell, similar to a season-long pass where he did have a pretty decent FPL total in points. Virgil, of course, is also a consideration with 2 shots on goal, 1 from inside the box, 5 key passes and 1 big chance created. He did, of course, deliver that great ball to Harry Kane to head home for the 3rd Spurs goal against West Ham, so he's someone I'd consider. But Ben Chilwell is, for me, the standout option if you're going to drop price in defenders. I'd say even over Dijk, who is more expensive. Hopefully Chelsea will find their defensive footing and start to keep some clean sheets, but if they don't, he has, in limited game time, managed to get 3 shots on goal, 2 on target, 2 shots from inside the box, and 7 key passes in total. I think he could be a great option for your FPL sides. And finally, we look at the fixtures and talk about captains, which of course is probably the most interesting part of this video. Right now, I'm feeling like Liverpool's Mo Salah and Liverpool's Sadio Mane look like the best captaincy options this game week against Sheffield United at home. Now, I don't think Sheffield United will pose too much threat to Liverpool as far as an attacking outfit, so I think Liverpool will go for the juggler in this one. And although Sheffield United used to be a really good defensive side, they don't seem to be as good this season. So that is who I would put my money on as captain, and probably my armband will go on Mohamed Salah. However, we do have Man City against West Ham away. I think Man City could also have a spell like Spurs did, potentially, and get some points as Sterling and Aguero are considerations, although that isn't my favourite choice. If I wasn't going to go Liverpool, I'd probably be looking at Kane and Son, because I'm not as confident in Burnley's defence as I used to be, and Spurs are on fire at the moment, and Kane and Son could definitely continue their goal-scoring form with a favourable fixture, even if it is away. Outside of that, looking at the fixtures, I expect Brighton to realise their clean sheet potential. They've had some great underlying numbers in defence. as well as Wolves to potentially keep another clean sheet, which have been a good source of points for. Wolves, of course, coming up against Newcastle, and Brighton, of course, coming up against West Bromwich Albion. So I've got high hopes for Lamptey and Sice in this game week. And then another game I'm really interested in, Aston Villa have Leeds at home, which will be a good test for their defence to see if they really are that strong defensively. And I think it would be good to see if they can keep their goal-scoring ways, although they only scored one against Leicester. I have high hopes for the likes of Barkley, Grealish, McGinn and Watkins, so I will be watching this one with a lot of interest. Target, also someone I'm looking at, but a player that I haven't really spoken about that I would like to give a little bit of limelight to would have to be Matty Cash, who I think is a great right back that a lot of people aren't really looking at. Matty Cash has had 2 shots on goal, but more importantly 4 key passes, and seems to be getting forward a lot, a little bit more than Target, who is 0.5 million cheaper. And I think when they get easier fixtures, we could definitely be seeing some decent attacking output from the Villa defenders. But also Concert is someone to look at with 2 shots on goal, 1 on target, 2 from inside the box and 1 big chance. As well as Mings, who's also had 3 shots on goal, 2 on target, 3 from inside the box and 1 big chance as well. So it'd be interesting to see what Villa can do against Leeds. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully you have enjoyed the FPL preview here on the FPL Today channel. Hopefully it helps you in the Fantasy Premier League in Game Week 6. And hopefully you see plenty of green arrows and that rank continue to rise. If you have enjoyed the video, again, hit that like button, it helps the channel out massively. If you haven't yet, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And also, check out the FPL Wildcats, who should be the top link in the description down below, because we will be streaming with them this evening around 8:45. So come and join us, ask us some FPL questions. And with that being said, I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.